Hello. Good to see you.
Alright there, Revenants, welcome back to Code Vein and the Road to 100. And if we want to talk about bad blood codes and what we have going here for, particularly low quality, low tier blood codes, look no further than Ranger.
Let's make it another good
Sub
day.
3000 HP at end game. Starting iCore of 16 up to a maximum of 36, very bad. Really poor stats across the board here. Lots of D's, lots of C's. But if you look at the weight limit of 70, that allows you to be quick mobility. That is pretty rare. That is the highest quick mobility type of blood code that you can have in the game. And so you have all kinds of options for what kind of blood veil you could go for, or what you would like to choose, or different things. So there are some pretty crazy, pretty awesome things that you can go for here, as you have, this kind of an ability set here. You could even go for something like the Suicide Spur, which would be pretty cool, but you need a willpower of B, and you can see that our stats are pretty trash, so we have to kind of make do with what we have. So you'll notice here that we're decked out with a lot of status debuffs here, especially Poison and Stun, and that is to mostly, and we are running with the Executioner, that is mostly to deal with the idea that we don't really have the luxury of any kind of big time iCore abilities, or any kind of big gift attacks or different things. We don't really have iCore recovery. We don't really have too much going on here for us. But if we do get hit enough and we get focused, we will have a mostly okay ability, to get iCore back, or to get status debuffs out on the enemy, to make up for our otherwise very, very poor ability set here. And you'll notice that we will go for a lot of swings and all kinds of stuff to make sure that we are decked out on our abilities, as there's not much to put into Ranger in the way of any kind of actual abilities or anything, and most of the time there's really nothing that we can do that is really super helpful. But you can see the amount of stun that we're able to put out, and we were also able to get some helpful benefits from poison there. But you'll notice that our health will dwindle away very, very quickly, and we don't really have too many contingencies. We have a tiny bit of ranged abilities in our venomous and stun shots. We do have all of the build-ups here, which is nice. But the reality is that we don't really have, too many options. But you'll start to notice as we go along here that even though we don't really have any options, we are still able to kind of make the blood code work for what we have, okay? Just because of the fact that we are, we're able to kind of play to the status effects. And when you have really trash blood codes, I mean, you can see us running out of stamina almost all the time with this setup. And when you have really trash blood codes to start with, typically you end up defaulting to like a two-handed weapon or something big that just has a lot of weapon gifts. But if you default in a way to status debuffs, especially stun and poison, it can really be a great increase in your abilities and defenses here. I don't know why I have that active, but we'll go for poison here, and then we will go for some stun. Okay. Let's get him poisoned here if we can. Okay, good. Ouch. Okay, and a backstab. So you can see that the poison here absolutely helped us win the day, because that was a pretty difficult fight, but we were able to actually do pretty well. We did get hit a little bit, but even with a defense of 144 on our fire, and he does 100% fire, we were still losing inordinate amounts of health because of the fact that our vitality is a D. As you can see here, we have very, very low defenses overall, so we really don't have anything to write home about. So we do need to be careful as we go along here. When we get into really any kind of enemy territory, we really need to, be really, really careful what is going on. But the poison here will absolutely help us in significant ways. Oh, I didn't want to backstab, but that's okay. Okay, let's go for poison. Okay, and very, very good. And you'll notice that as we go along here, we're kind of killing enemies very quickly, but remember that we're doing 30% of the enemy's health while they are poisoned. And since that is a free 30%, because we don't have to do anything for it, we can get the enemies poisoned very, very quickly. And we can go for stuns kind of over and over and over and over, because we have the ability here to, get the enemies stunned up. Okay, and we'll just, oh, okay. I was gonna say we'll let its health time out there, but you can see that we are very low I-core here all of the time. And you can see that between stun and poison, we are able to, make this enemy here kind of disappear with a little bit of patience. So kind of crazy that, we are just low I-core all the time, and we have no real setups here to speak about, and we are constantly, on the edge of never having any gifts active, and that's just because of the fact that we have to be doing tons and tons and tons of actual weapon attacks, but because we do have the ability here to keep our stun and venom going here along the way, we are able to have a pretty good offensive setup, surprisingly. Okay, so let's go for poison and this. Okay, we'll get some poison here. Okay, and we'll just let him gyrate there for a second. Whoa. Okay, I think we broke him. That was kind of weird, but you can see the damage numbers starting to rack up there on him. 47,000 damage before he was able to do much, which is really great. Oh, yo, why did you hit it? You're not supposed to hit that thing. Okay. And for a blood code that has D's and C's in almost every single category, and we are using the executioner, so we are giving ourselves even, that much more of a possible advantage, because of the fact that we don't want, we really do want to try and, win as we go along here. and the problem is that we don't really have much to do with, and so having the ability to stun the enemy for about 10 seconds here for the main fight with Emily, and to have, you know, 30 seconds of ability here in poison to do a huge amount of damage to the enemy's health here as we go along. We are in a good position to do some healthy amounts of damage while at the same time not really having a blood code that is worthy of those kinds of abilities. Whoops. Whoa, she hit me? Okay, poison? Okay, let's go for stun. Okay, let's just get some stamina back. Let's go for stun and poison. Oh, come on. Okay, that's an interesting time to get her poisoned, as she will be there. Okay. You see how much stun it takes here to put her down? Okay, now we are focused, so that is a huge amount of stun and poison. As you can see there, if we stand in her fire trail, it's pretty much curtains for her because of the huge amounts of poison and stun that we get added to our weapon. It's absolutely crazy how fast we can stun her once we get focused. And so standing on the blood trail as the fight progresses, you know, you might not think that, oh, stun buff and venom buff are that valuable, but with a really trash blood code like this, you are able to really make some crazy damage values happen out of this thing because of the value here on the dark value. So we're getting about 70 or so out of these two on our weapon each at a time. They are not affected by debuff buildup, but the reality is that even with going for all of these that we have, we still are only able to get to 75 and 81, and these two they basically double that as soon as we get focused. And having that, you know, for about 5 or so weapon strikes, you know, that pretty much poisons and stuns the boss every single time. And so the boss can't get out of that stun lock, and since we're standing on something that constantly gets us focused because it's a huge amount of balance damage, we are able to constantly stun and poison the boss, which gives us, you know, ample amounts of time to just deal huge amounts of poison damage, 15% every 30 seconds. And so it's really great that we're able to do that amount of craziness with a really poor blood code. But that ability to be 70 weight and have that kind of you know, ability to put out with being quick mobility, there are other, it's really good. There are others that you could use. You can go for the Raven fatigues. That would be a good one to go for as well if you don't have, you know, anything else to go for. It's pretty amazing that you can still go for something like that where you are getting you know, still roughly the same amount of ability here out of this, but if you like the thorn veils or the stinger veils a little better because they're parry windows or whatever, then this could be a good option for you. It is a dark centered veil, but you know, this is what I chose to go for. But it's still pretty good, and even with the fire defenses here, you'll see that it's still viable. to go for at 95. That's about a two-thirds-ish damage reduction. So around 60% or so, somewhere around there. But anyways, hopefully this was helpful and enjoyable to see how you can take a really trash blood code and turn it into something really viable here at top-notch difficulty. And you do have opportunities to use these two gifts, and Tranquil Slice works very well with debuffs, and so that is really helpful and useful. However, it is really slow, and we don't have a lot of ways to speed it up with such a bad blood code having a really low mind and willpower. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.